Hey guys, welcome to the Positive Experience podcast, where we talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly in living your best life. Today's segment is on the Hard Slog, where we shine the light on small local businesses. Hey guys, how you going? My name's Leki Sisra. I'm the host of the Positive Experience podcast. Today I have two guests representing the Pacific Connections Expo. I've got Annie Fifita, and off camera I've got Kylie Puamau, who's here with her little one. So you may not see Kylie, but she'll be the mysterious voice you'll be hearing throughout the conversation today. So just a little bit about who Annie and Kylie will be representing. The Pacific Connections Expo. It's advocating empowerment for Pacific people and implementing small changes one expo at a time. And they're here to help us inform the wider Pacific community of programs, events and services that can benefit them and create positive change within our community. So just want to say thank you for taking your time out of your busy day, ladies, to joining us here today. And before we jump into PatCon, I'd love to just know a little bit, just a short sentence on where you were born and where you were raised. Annie, how about
sure.
you first?
So I was actually born in Wollongong, New South Wales, and my dad initially moved over from Tonga to join BHP as a welder. So that was essentially where we were for the first couple of years, and then married mum. Mum struggled to get work, so then they both made the decision to move to regional Victoria as fruit pickers. So I spent a long time there. I spent all of my growing up years and part of my high school years there with my siblings. And then eventually we made the move to Melbourne in early 2000s.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So country girl at heart?
Yeah.
Blues or maroons?
Blues.
Absolutely.
Yeah, always, because it's Wollongong.
Okay, and Kylie, a snapshot on where you were born and raised.
So I was born in South Auckland, New Zealand. My parents migrated to Australia around 95, 96. Once we migrated here, we pretty much lived in Melbourne ever since. So I did most of my schooling here, and I did move overseas for a little bit, but then I returned here. So so a bit of home situation, married, mother of four. That's
Mother
me.
of four? Cool. And what's the ages of the four kids?
So we're going at 6, 5, 3 and 4 months.
Wow, a lot of diapers there.
Yeah.
Annie, how many in the brood?
Yeah, so I'm married and I've got 3, so 11, 6 and 5.
A bit older.
So all in school, yeah.
Okay, so you can almost see the finish line.
Almost. Like the clouds are lifting. So
Cool. Thanks, guys. I think it's important to get a snapshot on a little bit of the personal side because, you guys are volunteering your time to be a part of this organisation. Appreciate that. So can I get an idea of the work or the aha moment? Let's not so much dive into work, but who makes up Pacific Connections and how did you guys come together? How about you tell that story?
So Pacific Connections is made up of a collective of young Pacific mothers at different stages of life, not only mothers, women, sorry. And basically we came together through an initiative of Women's Health West, where they were running a program to help empower the Pacific community. And through that program, they wanted some projects and outcomes at the end of it, so after the 6-week program. And from that, we created the Pacific Connections Expo 2016. So ever since then, we've been holding our expos annually, and we went through a stage of onboarding new members, and that's when we were lucky enough to have Annie come along.
Awesome. And so in the team at the moment, how many help drive the initiative Pacific Connections?
There's about 5 to 6 of us, yeah.
Okay, of empowered women, mostly mothers?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So if we now I know you're speaking on behalf of a group of you guys, 5 to 6. What would you say is the common theme here? Is it that drives this initiative? Obviously, your Pacific roots, both a Tongan background, Pacific background. Is that one of the linchpins here? That most of the ladies are obviously Pacific Islanders, but also mothers. Is there any other passions that drive the initiative?
I'm happy. Yeah. So my personal, the way that I came into this to join the group was really about 2 years ago, I was looking for some additional resources and things that I could do to impart my experience and knowledge. And I really, I had this aha moment in my current organisation, where a lot of the work we were doing was focused on Australia's engagement with Asia. And so that stuff's really cool and really important, but I was like, I think I should actually be doing more for my people. And so 2 years ago I thought, okay, right, so what are some associations and groups that I can connect with to impart some of this knowledge that I've acquired over the years? And this is where Pacific Connections came up. But I found that in doing that research that there was really not much in terms of resources or infrastructure or programs and things that support our communities. Okay. And so one, it was great that I was able to connect with these amazing women, but two, through that work, it's like, right, so we've still got so much more work in terms of, how can we educate particular groups on certain issues, and how can we advocate for things, how can we lobby with government, all of that. So that's essentially my story into coming into Pacific Connections.
Okay.
And the reasoning behind why I see the importance of this is because, particularly here in Victoria, where the diaspora is quite small in comparison to the rest of Australia, we don't have a lot of things to offer. But I mean, the communities are great and they're vibrant and they're lively and there's lots happening, but how do we get them together more often to learn about each other, to empower each other and to educate, all that kind of stuff? So, yeah.
Okay, man, awesome. I'm gonna look up. I've got a bit of a thick head. It takes a bit of time to understand how things work. So if I was to take a step back, what does an expo mean? Is it an exhibition? How does that actually work?
So an expo works as like a setup of, basically it is an exhibition setup. We invite like local government, local community, Pacific businesses, and basically we set it up in a sense that you can attend the event. If there are services that are available to you, you can become informed through, having one-on-one with those service representatives. If there are any academic courses that are available to you that you could take up, that may offer scholarships for the Pacific community, this would be the hub for you to come and, access those services. Also, we do it to kind of promote the Pacific business space. So we have a lot of up-and-coming Pacific businesses, and what better way to promote them than to hold an exhibition where they can come network and kind of basically, sell their products, and as the Pacific community attend, we support those businesses.
Understood. So I'm picturing like a space, and in the space there's individual like booth and stall holders, and then they can be speaking about their particular thing that they're promoting or that they're passionate about. Are there opportunities too for speakers? So there's like seminars, like mini seminars in between within the expo. Bless you.
So this year we've set it up that at the first half of the expo, so in the morning time, there'll be a workshop. With that workshop, we've invited business owners, we've invited representatives that can come and speak on different aspects of having a business. Anyone can come and attend and listen in, and basically so the representatives are there to kind of speak on their experience. So it's not really just to kind of share their knowledge, but to share real life experiences. So anyone who is thinking of running a small business, or basically just want to know how it is on the other side of, seeing what you see on social media, or going to the shops potentially, and it looks really easy, but on the other side of that is a lot of hard work, a lot of sacrificed time, and a lot of commitment to actually pushing through the beginning stage of business.
Man, I really vibe with that, because it can be challenging, So I think when I asked earlier about your individual and personal situations, you're volunteering your time to run this initiative. And on the other side of the same coin, you're introducing or inviting people to come to speak about their particular passions, so that they can share that, yes, you do have a passion, but it's also a very hard slog to try and drive the thing that you're passionate about, whether you're in the food market, or if you're in health, or if you're in, public service. It's, I know there's lots of different arms to this expo, which is awesome. So if I was to switch gears here and put Pacific connections under the spotlight, what would you say is a challenge in putting something like this together? Because this is your third edition of the expo, so I'm sure with each year there's always challenges. But how's it been in running this type of this initiative?
So I think from a personal perspective, the biggest challenge is that we are all volunteers, so it's really just finding that free time to commit to getting things done. So at the moment, I'll give you an example of what my schedule looks like in helping out with the expo. It works around the kids, so when everyone's at school, when baby's settled, and whatever free time I can get out of that, then I put it into getting things organised for the expo. One of the biggest challenges is really just being able to balance that time and making sure that my home side of it is not suffering, and kind of just it's keeping the balance for me that's really hard. And as I said, it's volunteer time, so everything we put into it, it's really just to help drive our passion of empowering the Pacific community.
Cool. And I guess you ditto that as well, Annie?
Yeah, I agree. Like we're relying on the willingness and the goodness of people's hearts and times to be able to make these sorts of things happen. But I also think too, part of the challenge that I find, even just working within this space, is educating the communities about the importance of things like initiatives like this and getting that buy-in, because it's not so much the communities outside the Pacific Islanders, it's them. It's like, well, you're not actually aware about the things that are available to you because you don't actually come to any of these things. So that's where I find there's a real education piece in terms of getting people within our communities to see that the importance, the impact, and how this works for them in the long run. So
that's a great answer. So there's some challenges there. I guess some good that comes out of it is that you are shining the spotlight on lots of great people, groups, couples, partners, individuals. Maybe it could be an opportunity to shine the spotlight on, in general sense, like sorts of people that will be presenting. Like, which sort of businesses have you signed up to hold booths, and give us an idea of who may be there. You can shout out the businesses if you like, or give us an idea. I'm putting you on the spot here. It could be across the whole field. There could be teachers, perhaps. There could be sports people. Give us the top three, perhaps, off the top of your mind.
I'll give you the top three. So we're having a speaker named Niwafe Malupo. So he is a baker from Auckland, New Zealand. He launched a very successful business there called New Cakery. And basically, so he did really well with that, and then he got to a point where he wanted to seek other ventures, and now he's here in Melbourne. So he'll be there to talk about his experience with that. We'll also have Amma from Lash Fix. So Lash Fix is one of the most prominent local Pacific businesses to actually be grown right out of here, out of the Wyndham area. So they've taken a business from basically Tani now to Port Melbourne, and they're still growing. So she'll be there talking about the marketing and the social media side. We'll also have Lecky from ProPhysio there talking, and basically I think the importance of the information that you'll share is health and well-being for everyone, and that doesn't just apply to those looking to start a business or who have a business. It applies to everyone, and it also applies to the owners and their families, and trying to keep that health and well-being well-rounded. So.
Thanks, man. I made the top three. Appreciate it. Awesome. So if I was to switch gears a little bit and just ask personally, this is more of an interest thing. If you were to open up your phone and press on the Instagram icon, who would be one person you're following? Whatever, I'll buy you some time. So, for example, I'm a big fanboy of 50 Cent. Obviously the music stuff, he came out when I was in year 12, so it takes me back to my prime years. But also, he makes move business side, and he has a lot of mindset of getting out there and getting things done. So who would be one person you're following, Kylie, online?
Just recently I've started following a guy called Tim Billieu. He really promotes a lot of empowerment and changing mindset, and that really resonates with me because I believe in being able to change your mindset and just always being able to improve. So I advocate myself as a permanent learner, so always being able to learn. And so I heard of him in a podcast that I was listening to, and I thought, oh, this guy, he speaks some good truths there. So
yeah, Tom Bailey, his Quest Nutrition, I think was his way that he really blew up, and I was a follower of him as well early days. So and he has a lot of really good stuff there online. So shout out to Tom and the good work that you guys do out there. And then I'm going to throw you under the spotlight here.
I know, hey, I was thinking about this before. I don't really follow, I don't really follow prominent people, if that makes.
How about someone on Bebo then?
I don't know. So what's Bebo? MySpace. I've got some personal connections of people that I'm affiliated with, but in terms of well-known people, I don't really follow. I don't know. I think I aspire to people everyday people who are just find that are doing things on the ground, and I can see it, I can feel it, I know their impact. They're the sort of people I follow. So there's a colleague of mine who's really young and vibrant and 25, but she's the kind of person that I think is going to be taking over the country in 20 years' time, because she's just she's so she does a lot of community work, but she travels the world, and she's the sort of person that'll go and live in country, in the ghetto, in the Bronx. She'll just rough it, because that's where the true experiences of her travels come, and I've just found that really encouraging. But she's also done a lot of work in government, so I've found her experience really beneficial in helping me to navigate some of my thinking around how I'd like to potentially get in government later on. She's the kind of person and her name's Elise Giles. Okay. She might see this eventually, but she's the sort of person. So every day, I jump on my LinkedIn account and I'm looking for her posts, because I just want to see what she's up to. And Elise Giles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Annie, so if you run for government and you fix our roads here in the Wyndham government, I'll vote for you.
Just pour more funding into the Pacific.
Yeah. Happy with that. Guys, so we're heading down the home stretch here. So I know we've spoken a lot about Pacific Connections and the expo that's coming up. Maybe you'd like to share a little bit more about with the audience about the upcoming event and any other information that you'd love to let us know about.
Yeah, so the expo that we have is on Monday the 9th of March, and it will be held here in the West at the Werribee Baptist Church. Kicks off at 10 o'clock, is that right, Kylie?
Yep, so 10 a.m. will be the workshops.
Yeah.
Then 11:30 will be the official opening to all the public. But the workshops are open to everyone, but it'll just be earlier. So.
Okay, cool. And so we'll have a breakdown of the day. We'll have links to the Pacific Connections Expo, to the video. Is there any other requests or any questions that you have regarding the event coming up? We'd love to know. I see on Instagram you're promoting a lot of guys that are speaking. That's awesome. Check them out. The handle is Pacific Connections Expo. At Pacific Connections Expo, and
just Pacific Connections.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, Pacific Connection.
But you can hashtag Pacific Connections Expo and you'll still find us. So.
Okay, who's going to be emceeing the event?
Oh, there'll be a number of us. We've got different roles on the day. Yeah. But we're still looking for, so if there's anybody out there that's wanting to exhibit their business or they want to have a booth, then absolutely we're still taking registrations for that. And we're still looking for, volunteers on the day. So if you want to jump in and see how it's all working or have an impact in terms of how you can give back, then this is one of those events where you can do that.
And it's a great opportunity for anyone wanting to come along and learn and just to see how it's done and all that kind of stuff. So.
Okay. And I do want to say it's free, so it's free entry, completely free for all the Westies. There's no excuse, okay? So all across Melbourne, come down to the western suburbs at Wyndham Baptist Church. Yep. Werribee Baptist Church. We'll put the address down. It's on Labor Day. It's a public holiday. So feel free to come by, check out the booth holders, check out the chats on the seminars, people that are presenting on their businesses and their passions. I just want to say thank you to Kylie and Annie for making some time to come down and chat to you guys. Pacific Connections Expo is coming up. This segment is called the Hard Slog, for people running local businesses or initiatives that's doing great work for the community. So Pacific Connections, big shout out to the guys. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, thanks for having us.